My name is Gyamfi. I'm co-founder and CEO for the Center for Social Innovations. I want to start my session by just giving you a bit of a background on CSI. We are based in Kumasi. We were founded in 2015. At that time, I had just completed 3 years of work in the northern part of Ghana, mainly with grassroots organizations, and I needed something different. I needed a new challenge. So I teamed up with two of my friends, one from business, the other who is more like me, who is also from development, and combines a business angle as well. So we founded the Center for Social Innovations, and we're headquartered in Ghana. Now we have programs in about 7 out of the 10 regions of Ghana. We want to expand. We've engaged about 3,000 students, educators, and young professionals and community leaders as well. We have a partnership and support from Google that is able to get a support to train teachers to adopt social innovation in the teaching of computer science. Our programs include social innovation education, sustainable community development, social enterprise acceleration, and research. Our motivation, by the way, is sort of around how we can enhance educational outcomes and also address some of the skewed nature of our development in our communities, where we want to address the issue of when you go into communities, people are asking you, what did you bring for me? But we want to flip the coin around and say, what do you have? So, if you're wondering what social innovation is, for us, it's about new strategies, new concepts and ideas, and new organizations like Center for Social Innovations. We've been in operation for about 3 years, so we still consider ourselves as new. We are trying to meet the needs of different elements, working conditions, education in communities, and also health. We want to expand the frontiers and strengthen our relationship with different actors, and also do some activism along the line with the information that we have. We'll do some activism to enhance educational outcome, and also to be able to change the dynamics of development, especially in our rural areas. So for us, it's a new type of thinking, really, for us to do things differently. We are looking at how we can be very, very flexible, and how different people from different backgrounds can work together. When we have students and entrepreneurs in our midst that we work with, they are as diverse as people from business to people from anthropology. There's also the concept of the connected difference. And I'll quote Brian Goodwin, who says that what you want to do is to get from people having a fear of change to a fear of what will happen if they don't change. In most cases, you have a situation where people don't want to change. This is how I do my thing. I don't want to change from it, especially in our communities. They say, this is how we do things here. You know, and because sometimes they fear change. And other times too, they don't know what will happen. Really, sometimes change can be, can be a bit distressing. You don't know what will happen, so you don't want to change. You want to keep doing the things that we are doing. So let's get to really as to how we harness design thinking in social innovation or in sustainable development. We do that by harnessing 2 approaches. One is design thinking, as I've said, and then asset-based community development. And here we are looking at and reinforcing the fact that in every community there are assets. These assets abound in the knowledge of the knowledge systems, the knowledge of the people. We're looking at different assets that are physical, sometimes emotional, spiritual. All of these assets we want to harness. And for us, we believe that communities, when they are supported and empowered, they can address their own challenges. and not have to, not a situation where people will just go there and want to address their challenges for them. I'm not going to belabor this point because we know what design thinking is, but we're really looking at who are we working with in the communities? Students, entrepreneurs coming in, working with people in the community, whether they are community leaders, whether they're women, children, students in the community as well, and the elderly. We're looking at also the what. What are their needs? What is it that we can work around to be able to address some of their priorities? And how? How are we going to do it? We're looking at also the why. You know, why we need to do it. So, one of the things that we do is to have our students and entrepreneurs develop asset maps. And then they do that by working with community members. So they develop asset maps that sort of highlight, is my time up? That sort of highlights the assets within the community. And here we're looking at identifying priorities. We're looking at generating new knowledge. Sometimes it's not even new, it's already there. So what you're doing is just uncovering the knowledge that is already there. And we are identifying these assets, we are conducting research, sometimes not just an expansive research, but also finding out, asking the whys and finding out, and also leveraging these assets to be able to inform an action. So, quickly go to how design thinking for social innovation, how we do it. We have the 4 I's. And for us, the 4 I's mean immersion, inspiration, innovation, and implementation. And I'll explain quickly. So for immersion, when we have students and young professionals go into communities that we identify, we try to get them to understand, to sort of work with community leaders, community people, whether they are women groups or different actors within the community, and understand some of the issues that are of priority to them, highlight the issues. And whilst you're doing that, identify the assets. So all of these issues that we are highlighting are mapped to an asset to be able to address the issue in the long run. So we are also looking at inspiration. Once you've gathered all this information and you've done an asset map, we are saying that you need to analyze the issues, and there are different tools that we use in analyzing that. You analyze the issues to understand the local assets and resources that could be leveraged to address the issue that already you have been able to highlight. And then this is mainly done through innovation teams that includes community members and also the students or young professionals. They work together in teams to be able to address the issues that we highlight. And then once we've gone through the process of immersion, we've gone through the process of immersion, inspiration, we move to innovation. So you have all of this information working together in the team, and as you go through the process of innovation to prototype. And the prototyping could be as very simple with cardboards like these students are doing, or you work with the community members to come up with, and I'll talk about some of the prototypes, to come up with here. This is a nutrition program that was developed in the Ashanti region, and this is being scaled up. It's going to be scaled up in Liberia with an organization called More Than Me. But we'll get there. I'll talk more about that one. And so once we are done with that, you have a prototype. We say you do implementation. Implementation is to develop an action plan, to be able to develop business models that will be able to support the action plan that you develop. The main thing here is we are not creating projects and leaving, we are creating social enterprises. So it's not that we come there, solve a problem, and you leave, and then sometimes the problem still persists. But you create a social enterprise that will reward the team members and the community members themselves, so that it motivates them to be able to still continue to be involved. And this, let me go back. This loop, this goes back because when you get here, and sometimes, I had the teams talking. Sometimes you get there and then you introduce to the larger community. Even though you have community members with the innovation team. That's the catchphrase. You have a community members in the innovation team. So they help you to identify the assets. They help you to be able to identify some of the issues that are of priority. But then you open up to meet the community members themselves, to interact with different actors, not just the members who are part of the teams. So it opens up for you to know, have new knowledge, new information that sometimes it means you have to probably go back to the immersion stage. So this is not just a top-down thing, but it also goes up, because when you get here, sometimes you meet the whole community, and you find out that some of the prototypes that you have feedback that will need you to go back to the immersion stage. You have to go back. So just to talk about some of the projects that we've been able to develop from, and also social enterprises from the concept. So in a place called kontomire, kontomire is a green leafy vegetable, but here is the name of a town. But in a local school in Ghana, we are implementing the school feeding program, and the school feeding program is helping students, especially in rural areas, to stay in school and not have to think about food, especially in the afternoons. So there's one hot meal a day, supported by the government. But in some places, especially in very far off rural areas, they don't get to implement such a project because the government is not supporting them. And so we have a design team in the community, and they developed a nutrition project. A nutrition project supported by the community themselves. They have a community farm that they have all this the produce for the food that they have to prepare. So it reduces the costs. Community members fetch the firewood, and then they set up a business around that nutrition program. In northern Ghana, where a vegetable cooperative in a place called Gumbihini. So in Gumbihini is in the center of Tamale. Just between those who are very much know Tamale, is between Chogu and Sakasaka, sorry. And over there in the middle of Tamale is Gumbihini, where Gumbihini means small kapok trees. So those who know kapok trees, but when you go there, the kapok trees, almost all of them is gone. So it's created a situation where there's erosion, there's a lot of plastic waste, and affecting vegetable farmers. So the team set out to enhance the vegetable production by helping them to manage their water very well, and also address the issue of sanitation, because issues of plastics and all of that was affecting their soil, which was not helping them to be able to make much yields. So they've built a project and a business around that is now being supported by Equip Hubs and Farmer Line, which are partners that are helping them to be able to implement the project in the area of helping them to be able to get higher purchase for fertilizer or for any other for chemicals that they need, and also for managing their water. Yesterday I was at a conference at Town Palace, and basically it's a water and climate change conference, and I spoke about this. And the Water Resources Commission, there was a director from the Water Resources Commission who sort of came up and said, hey, Yao, I think we can work together on this and help them to even manage their water even better, because they have an innovation that they want to test, rainwater harvesting, and also like a system that harnesses dam water to be able to help them to manage their farms very well. And then in the Upper West, where Bamahu is a place near Wa, where the University for Development Studies is, and so we went there. We engaged students from the UDS, and then went to Bamahu. We needed a town that is near to find out whether UDS is having any influence on the towns that are near. Mostly in the universities in Ghana, they don't. So we went there, spoke with the community members. We found out that there are a lot of artisans in the town, but the artisans are not linked to the supply chain of the university. So students and young professionals here meeting with the artisans have developed a database that would, 3 minutes? Okay. A database that would help them to be able to connect, know what skill sets are in the community, form an association business, and then use that to build their capacity, get tools, and use that to engage the university to enter into their supply chain, so that if they need masons, they need carpenters, they need electricians, they'll talk to them first, instead of going to maybe WOW or going to any other place to be able to come up with. And in the Upper East, where women produce a lot of rice, but then the issue of pricing, quality control becomes an issue. So you have the team in the Upper East that have formed an association business, let's say a cooperative business, to help the women, empower the women to sort the rice very well, know the taste of people in, say, Kumasi or Accra or anywhere, and their priority for such rice, and be able to order the rice directly from the women. So we want to expand. We want to be able to improve the program, and so we're looking at areas where we want to have partnerships, and we're looking at data analytics for projects and programs. We're looking at plugging into local partnership in support of efforts. So, for instance, in Tamale, where the business has partnered with Equip to be able to help them with technical support and also market pricing. And then there's also, we want to also come up with a social innovation roadshow where we sort of highlight social innovative projects from down south to the north. We're looking at also design thinking for social innovation fund to help such projects with startup funding that will help them to be able to take off. And then also research into new and emerging concepts. We're looking at, good, so that's my last thing. So new and emerging concepts that would help, sort of now we're looking at sustainable development. How do you, and the new and emerging concepts there, how do you use local knowledge, traditional knowledge and local knowledge to be able to address some of the issues that are there, and how do you then use that for policy? That's the areas of partnership that we want to have. I'm open for questions. Thank you.